How you doing down the table there?
It's good to see you, Mr.
Good
Madam
to
Chair.
see you too. Let's take attendance. I'm Lakakis, Alex, Fine, and Kuhn are excused. I have Gil Ethier,
Yes.
Ray Joyce,
Here.
Mark Simpson,
Here.
Todd Drake,
Here.
Mark Grimm.
Here.
Okay, enough. First order of business is approve the previous meeting's minutes. To do that, thank you. Motion from Mert.
Second.
Anybody?
Second.
Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We're gonna go out of order and take number 3 next. We have Human Resources Commissioner Teague and Sharon Caulfield. Acting. Good evening, thank you for coming.
So we're here today to talk about approval for the Health Insurance Solutions Incorporated administration, and that is for Albany County prescription drugs. That's our plan for our employees. This Health Insurance Solution Incorporated is a third party which we will utilize to enhance specialty drugs, pharmacy, and co-payments for patients' assistance programs, which offers pharmaceutical manufacturers to generate savings on a costly specialty of medications to both our Albany County employees as well as the County of Albany. So I'm going to ask Shannon if she would just go into detail and kind of talk about those savings for you this evening. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Madam Chairwoman. So we are looking for your approval of the contract with Health Insurance Solutions Incorporated, also known as HISI, that we have been working with since 2020. The program provides outreach to patients for review on potential cost reductions for alternative medications to treat covered members' illness and injury while ensuring equal or better outcomes. So in 2020, the cost of the pharmacy plan, which includes claims and administrative expenses, was roughly $2,900 per covered life, which was reduced to roughly $2,600 per covered life, resulting in a 9.9% reduction in dollar amount. That was roughly $1.4 million reduction from 2020 to 2021. This has shown to have no disruption in service to our employees. The administrators in the HR office are working diligently with HISI and our members as questions come up, getting all the necessary prescriptions covered. I do want to make you aware that this is like a three-phase process. In the first phase, which was the reduction of the top 29 most expensive specialty drugs, saved us $6.8 million. Phase 2 was the PBM contract rebate audit, which saved us roughly $1.1 million. And phase 3, which was through the years 2022 and 2024, saved us $8.4 million, with a grand total savings of $16.3 million since the partnership. So that is something that we are looking to have HISI as our administrator for prescription drugs at this point in time.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I'm confused, so can you help me? I just switched from CDPHP Advantage from 1978 till April of last year, and now I'm on Blue Cross Blue Shield Anthem. How does this interface with that?
So they partner with us. So this is for prescription drugs. Anthem is our medical coverage. So this is working with our prescription administrator, which is
Well,
Express
Anthem
Scripts.
uses Express Scripts, so how does that?
Right. There's no gap in coverage. They work with Express Scripts to get you a cheaper coverage, working with the manufacturers as it relates to benefits and lowering the cost of the prescription for you.
Right. Is that clear for you?
Is that okay? Does
Yeah.
that make sense? Okay, great. Good question. That was a good question.
I was gonna say, it will seem seamless. I mean, obviously, they're the third party that we are wanting to get in partnership with so that they can find the best cost savings for our employees on the medical coverage. And so they are in tune with what the costs are for a lot of pharmacies and medicines, and so they try to navigate that for the best cost savings out of pocket for our employees.
In addition to the rebate program to us as Albany County on the
That's
tax
correct.
side.
Sweet. I have Drake, Joyce, Bergdorf,
Am I?
and Ethier. Drake
go ahead.
first.
So this sounds like a great idea. How does this affect employees in terms of if, for example, you need a medication that doesn't have a generic? So do they just sort of skip it and say, okay, we have to pay for that? Or how does that, does it otherwise impinge an employee's ability to obtain coverage for a prescription?
No, actually, they have what they call peer-to-peers, and your doctor just explains to, whether it be Blue Cross, HISI, that, this is the necessary drug based on the medical documentation, and then the drug will then get approved.
Okay, that's good. The second question I had was just, and I apologize, I'm not too familiar with it, but their compensation schedule is that they receive a percentage of any savings. How is that figured out? And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, do they look at every drug as a, what's the word, the name brand, and then every time they come in with a reviewed, generic, they take the gap and say, this is what we saved you? Or is it case by case, meaning that, hey, the physician prescribed whatever,
X.
Tylenol, but we got you CVS aspirin. In other words, are they automatically making that spread, or is it on a case by case basis where they're saving the county money because the top shelf has been prescribed, but there was a better alternative?
I can look into that and get back to you. I don't want to give you any misinformation.
I was just curious, in other words, is
On
it
that
like
specific,
is
yeah.
it baked in, like, okay, we're gonna assume that everything's name brand and we're gonna get you the better deal, or is it literally, this is
Individual
prescribed,
by
yeah,
individual.
yeah.
I don't
I'm
want to
just
provide
kinda
you any
curious
inaccurate.
how it works, and how we calculate our savings. I've never heard of this kind of thing before in that industry, and I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Shannon, the co-pays, do they stay the same?
Jill,
Yeah.
Ray's ahead of you.
Who's that?
Ray's ahead of you.
It's
That's
too
okay.
far to see. I really,
Come closer, my dear.
I thought it was your favorite.
Okay, thank you.
There you go. That's helpful.
You actually answered it to Mr. Drake's question, but I was just noticing too that it looks like, just through the RFP process, usually we have a committee of reviewers. It looks like there was just one on this, or,
So it was scored by Losi and Cahill. Cahill.
okay, that answers my question, so.
Excellent. All right, Gil.
Well, I got a question about the co-pay. Is it saved 15 and 30? Did nothing change there?
Nothing has changed
Nothing
with the
has
copay structure.
That's excellent. I make a motion we accept.
When Mr. Bergdorf is finished, we'll consider your motion. Thank you very much.
What's all right? Is he still your favorite?
Of course, he's still my favorite. Go ahead, Paul.
Do you have a standard formulary that's available to county employees?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If a doctor prescribes a specific biologic and you say, wow, that one is $10,000 per application, but we have this one over here that's $4,200, and is there an appeal process? I think you talked about the
Yes, there is.
peer-to-peer.
Yes, there is.
And I guess the question is, do you have instances, or have there been instances where the peer-to-peer has worked out unsatisfactorily in the eyes of the employee?
I do have to tell you yes, and there is a follow-up process following the peer-to-peer also.
And what is that? I'm curious.
So it is actually through the state process, an appeal process through the state that actually we work through. And the doctor would have to provide the additional medical documentation to prove that they would need that specific drug.
And how long does that appeal process take?
I don't want to give you any inaccurate information. I know
Well,
that you're in the
I'm
middle of
curious, because
one.
when people
Yeah.
need certain drugs, they
Immediately.
need certain drugs.
Understood.
Yeah.
And I just want to have a family member that went through this. And,
Yeah.
Things need to get escalated in hours, not days.
I have to tell you, HISI has been wonderful, and I'm rather new in this position, and HISI has been wonderful in working with us to get immediate answers for the employees.
That's right.
That has been our number one, topic with them, discussions with them. If an employee calls and says, I need a drug, and let's say they initially denied, I'm gonna tell you within 24 hours, we have an answer and we've communicated
Okay.
that.
And there's a mechanism by which there's even a secondary review.
Yes,
Thank
and in addition, sorry, Mr. Bergdorf.
No, I appreciate it.
They are, they answer all times of the day and evening, so just because the close of business for us is at 5 o'clock, I've been on the phone with them at 7 o'clock because somebody had, for example, an oral surgery, they went to pick up their prescription later in the day, and they had some issues at the pharmacy, and we were able to rectify those issues.
And to piggyback on that, we do have a standing meeting with them every week, and we talk about any concerns or topics on a weekly basis. That is because we want to be proactive and not kind of reactive. So we're staying ahead of any issues and/or concerns our employees might have on a weekly basis.
Susan?
On the report from Lucy and Cahill, in the chart, it represents these amounts that you mentioned, particularly for 2020, roughly $2,900 is the average monthly per covered life. Is that actually meant to be, that's not a monthly cost?
No, it is not a monthly cost.
Okay.
No, good catch good
All
catch.
right.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Second from Mr. Joyce, all in favor? Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I want to let you both know, I know you're both new in the department, and the reports I had from certain people, very happy with the success they had, the way they're treated. So I want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Not that it was bad before, but at least the two new people we know is going forward, they ain't going backwards.
We appreciate that.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All righty, next we'll take number 2. Amending various resolutions for the purpose of revising the composition of certain boards. Mr. Moriello?
Tabled.
Tabled at the request of sponsors. Motion to adjourn. Thank you, Mr. Grimm. Second, Mr. Joyce. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. See some of you in a moment. Oh, wait a minute.